halfway around the world, with friends all around me, every boy and every girl. I've worked hard and waited so long, and now I'm in it for the win. When I touch down in London, that's when my journey begins. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. Forever BEO. There's so much to do there. I have nothing left to fear. I can't stop thinking about the future. I see my path is so clear. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. So here I go, I won't look back. The choice is mine to be the best. The time is now to make all these dreams last forever. Forever BEO.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome once again to the BEOnline International Summit Program Edition. In order to have a smooth interaction, please know we will give around 15 minutes once the speech is over for a Q&A round. Although if throughout the presentation there are any comments or questions, feel free to share them in the chat. My name is Pilar Riesgo, BEO Sales Representative. I'm so happy and honored to be your host today. I'm here with a special guest who will share some tips from her international experience. In other words, she will be talking about masters from a winner's perspective. I'm glad to introduce Gabriela Uribe. She holds an ICLT course from Cambridge University. She is the coordinator of English department at Instituto Mexicano Regina in Mexico City. This has allowed her to accompany over 130 students from middle to high school to different international programs in the United States, Europe, and Asia since 2013. With no further introduction, I will pass the microphone to Gabi. So Gabi, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Pili. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today on this afternoon. I know that many of you probably have your afternoon to do other personal things, so I truly appreciate that you are dedicating some time to listen to this presentation. which the company BEO World has asked me to talk to you about my experience as a BEO participant, as a school who has participated with BEO, and the experience that I have had with the program. So this is my objective today, to share my journey first on how I implemented this extracurricular program and others in our school. Programs which I believe help students to polish their skills, and they can compete in an international setting, and of course help them to take on those steps that will help, that have helped not only them achieve success, but also, well, I have had the opportunity with them to savor it. So I see there's a lot of people around. I want to just say hello to joining the session. I see people from Argentina, from Venezuela, from Irapuato, Honduras. Thank you very much for your time and for being here today. Well, thank you for the introduction, Pili. As you have heard, the school has been participating, the Instituto Mexicano Regina has participated in international programs since 2013. I have had the opportunity to bring over 130 students to 15 different events. It's some BEO, Masters, a program in Asia, Moon in New York. And we have had the joy of having had being selected as finalists 14 times. We have also gotten more than 20 awards in different events. We have had the honor to become campus winners for a couple of times. And we also got an award in New York as the Best International School Award. And well, the highlight of all these recognitions or these awards has been definitely to winning the Champions Masters session in 2018. And well, it sounds like I'm telling you a lot about what we have done, and I just wanted to be careful not to sound like bragging, because when I was looking at all the things that we have done, it sounds a little bit like, oh, this is all we have done. But I looked at the dictionary and looked for the definition of boasting, and it's to be excessively proud and self-satisfied when you talk about things that you have achieved. And well, this is something that it's true in our case. I mean, we're really proud and satisfied with all of these achievements, with everything that we have accomplished as a school. And then, well, I think that's also one of the reasons why they asked me to talk to you about in this session, so I can share with you the steps that we took in order to participate. So hopefully, of course, each one has a different experience, but I hope that whatever I share with you today can help you achieve your goals. Now, in marketing, I also looked for this, but in marketing, a promotion is also used to inform or to persuade target audiences of the merits of a product or a service or a brand. It helps also to raise awareness of that brand or the product, create certain interest. And in our case, at the school, I would just want you to know that we are located in an area in Mexico City where there are lots of schools. And it's important that we do marketing promotion. However, the school policy is not oriented towards that. So if any of you are coordinators or teachers who are probably struggling a little bit with, or even owners who have a fierce competition with other schools, in the sense of, you know, if you probably want to get more students, I think it's important that you use events or these type of programs to help you promote your school. So definitely this was one of the main reasons I decided to take on these programs, because by informing or letting people know about the achievements of the students, you are able to set what is what you're doing with your school. So why offer international programs, as I said earlier? Because it's part of the school mission. I will go into more detail on our school mission, but if the school wants or it's willing to look for something that will offer students to have an opportunity to shine, well, this can definitely help. Now, as I said earlier, we're in an area of the city where there are many schools that have more than 5 periods of English a week. We only have 5 periods of English a week, and therefore we're not considered a bilingual school in the area. So sometimes this can be a setback for certain parents because they are looking for schools whose level of English is great. And I think that we, for example, we also offer Cambridge certifications and Cambridge materials, and our teachers are trained with Cambridge. So that's part of what we do as a coordination. But I think that an international program can help you highlight that you have a competitive level of English. And also, this is also an opportunity to implement an extracurricular program or an after-school program if you're looking for ways to have that extra competitive advantage with other schools. Another thing that it's important to offer an international program is that I believe that these events are the perfect way to show the students' skills, not only in English, but also all the skills, all the knowledge that they have acquired since the beginning of their school stages. In our case, we start with kindergarten. So it's a very good way to show what they know, what they can do, what they have achieved. So that's why I think it's well worth it. And last but not least, the reason why I chose international programs such as Masters, BEO, and others like MUN, it's because they have an academic objective. They're not just a trip or an excursion. So they have more than that. Now, I want to thank all the people who have been joining after, I started talking. So I want to let you know if you have any questions, please write them down. Billy will help me out at the end of the sessions to help and answer them for you. Okay, well, what are the stages or what were the steps that I had to take in order to implement an international program? And I hope this helps those of you who do not have it or have just started to consider having an international program. First is to obtain, of course, the school authorization by the principal or the owners. So you need to talk to them. And when you do, make sure that it's that they can see a clear objective and the main objective of the program, and of course the specific objectives. Because as I said earlier, these are not an excursion or a leisure trip. It's something that you have considered because you have seen the benefits of the academic benefits of this program. So make sure that when you talk to the school authorities, you are very, you have very clear what's the main goal or the specific objectives of implementing this program. Next, it's really important also to engage students, to get them excited about these programs. Of course, they would always love to have an opportunity to travel, but if you tell them that there is an advantage of taking or a trip and going into experiences that will give them that extra preparation, that can help a lot. Another important part is to involve parents and faculty. It's not just a trip where you take students. Of course, the parents will support you because they are the ones who are investing in their children. But it's also important that you talk to the rest of the faculty, not just the English department teachers, but also the others, because there are other people who can contribute and collaborate into complementing the program. Whether it's Masters or BEO or MUN, the rest of the faculty have valuable ideas that can also help you. And last but not least, it's really important that you have very clear administrative and academic management. implementing an international program is extra from what you already have to do as a coordinator or as a teacher in a school. We have lots of things to do, but it's good and clear objectives and how you're gonna keep the records of the kids who are coming with you, have a complete database, make sure that the academic goals are reached, and how you're going to prepare in order to get them where you want them. So it's important that you have a plan, that you sketch very well all of these steps in order to present them. And in case that you already have authorization, in case you already have had the joy of implementing academic programs, well, you know that there's a preparation process that we need to take into consideration. And everything that we prepare has to do with blood, sweat, tears, and of course, similar delights. So I believe in our case that it's really important. I was speaking to you earlier about the school mission statement. Every school does. In our case, our mission is to educate young people to meet the challenges of life courageously, to use their talents to the full, and to live the values of Christ's gospel. We are a Catholic school. But I want to highlight the section or the part that says, meet the challenges of life courageously. Whatever task they are set in an international program is gonna be a challenge, and it's gonna be a challenge for life. So it's not just to do it, it's to face it courageously, using their talents to the full. Everything that they have learned throughout their school years should be useful and helpful so that they can face these challenges. And of course, in our case, also to live them with them. Now, as an English department coordinator, we also have an objective, and our objective is that the learners speak English, the Google communication device, focusing on productive, the learning of useful language for real world, and the developing of new skills, challenging tasks that help them put together what they have learned. All of these academic programs, since they have a goal, since they have an objective, and they have to express themselves in English and produce language, it's fantastic for us that all of these programs have a goal too. So those are the ones that we're going to choose in order to meet our English department objective. And since this talk is focused on masters, I want to share with you the master's objective, which is, it's an international program whose aim is to provide students with opportunities for academic improvement, but also for personal growth and experiences that they will benefit from for a lifetime. A competition that develops their creative leadership and business skills by designing and developing a product that they can offer to a group of entrepreneurs. Now, all of these aligns to the school mission statement, to what we want as a school as an objective, and of course, what the program is offering. So to me, it's a check, 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 because the program is offering that. So let me just continue with that. Let me just, before I continue with company role, let me just tell you something that it's important. Now, the pandemic has changed all our days, right? But part of the preparation has to do on when you start to offer it. So the company helps us by pitching and pitching the program. We normally do this in September, considering that masters travels in spring break. So that gives us only like 6 months, okay? But it all depends on your school. If you have a school that, you know, you pitch the program with the company months before the preparation process, that's even better. I think that we are a little rushed, but in the case of masters, since you don't have to stay in the afternoon to prepare, that works quite well. In our case, we do not do any auditions. It's just, we have, I mean, the thing is that by the number of students that we have, and when we invite them to the program, it's not a thing where we have too many students applying and then we have to select. Basically, in our experience, what has happened to us is that whoever registers and pays goes. At the beginning, I was not very happy with this because I always wanted to get the best students. But then I realized that sometimes maybe not the best students or the ones who have the better academic marks are the ones who perform the better. So in this case, now continuing with the next slide, the company roles is to help us pitch the program, which should be exciting. It's going to help us with motivating students and engaging them and getting them excited about the trip. When they show the video, of course, everyone wants to go to England, and they tell them about the business program and they get really excited. But there are other things that we have to consider, and the company helps us with that. The next one will be to assist with the administrative tasks. It's a lot of extra work for teachers and coordinators. We already do a lot. So the company helps us with the parents, of course, session with to invite students, with a session with a meeting with the parents, and they also follow up. That's really good because sometimes it's difficult. Okay, there's kids who say that they're interested, but we don't follow them that closely. So the company helps us a lot with that. Now, the English coordinator role, or the group leader. Sometimes the one that goes into the program is not necessarily the coordinator. Sometimes a teacher helps us. And the role of the coordinator or the role of the group leader is to maintain a clear goal and the reason why you guys or the kids are going to the program, and to keep them motivated. Of course, to highlight all the benefits of the program and be able to check not only group, but also individual strengths of your participants, their weaknesses, to assess how they produce, monitor how they're doing, and to manage the group, of course. And another thing that it's really important is that the group leader role is that, I mean, there are many things that can happen along the way. And of course, it can be sad for some students to prepare and get everything ready and to pitch and to do their best. And sometimes they are not elected or to pass into the next round or to get into the finals. So the teacher has also to be a person who helps with setbacks and failure, and to be able to transform that failure so that the students can see it as a learning opportunity. The next role is the school's role. It all depends on the school, okay? In our case, we believe that it's really important that the school not only supports students, but also the group leader. Sometimes the students need to gather up, and sometimes they need to be absent from a class, or the group leader needs to talk to the coordinator. So it's important that the school provides the support needed in case of an absence. Or sometimes they have to, it has happened to me, that the dates of the masters do not match the dates of our spring break. So sometimes they're absent for a week in our school, and it has happened that it has been exam weeks. So it's a school role to help and postpone the exams or find another way to evaluate students those days so that they feel that they are supported. And of course, this helps to build a sense of pride. The team that you bring to participate in an international competition, it's representing your school. So everyone in your school should be really proud that there are a group of kids who are representing them. That helps the students, of course, self-esteem, and it helps to build a sense of pride, and it helps to strengthen the motivation, of course, of the students, and of course, it can also boost the confidence when they participate. So it's important that the school helps here. The next important role will be, of course, the student's role. And what I'm going to show you here is what we want from our students, or at least all of our students that go into a competition. We want them to have a passion for knowledge, that they have a love of learning, a hunger to know. And we do have lots of students like that. However, that would be ideal if we find that in the students that we bring. And of course, preferably, it'd be great if these students also have a sense of responsibility, high level of organization, because that will be ideal. We'll talk about reality later, but this is what we want in the kids that we bring. And of course, the parents' role, which is the one, I mean, who else, apart from the teacher who is going, or apart from the school, is the one who convinced about the program? The parents. They are spending money, investing in their children. So, of course, what we want from them, or what is expected from them, is support. And they do give it to their children. They love them. But it's important that they are able to promote independence, that these kids are going to be awake for a couple of weeks, and they're going to do things that they're probably not accustomed to do. In our case, well, these girls, well, they have someone who takes care of them normally, and this is a perfect opportunity to see that they can be responsible and be organized, and that the parents detach a little bit from them. So it's part of what we expect from the role of the parents, that they are excited about the program and that they let them become a little bit more independent. Now, expectations versus reality. In my experience, I don't know, perhaps you would like to share and comment later what has happened in your case. Sometimes, well, with the company, I'm really happy to say that after all these years working with BEO, every time I see a little thing that I'm not so happy about, when I mention that to them, they do everything to change it. So I really can't complain, okay? I think the company is quite good. If I were to just say something that we might do something about, it overexposure. Since these girls already, or my students, already know very well what the master's is, sometimes they don't even need the pitch, okay? And sometimes when we do the pitch and when there's follow-up, some of them, they do feel that it's too much, okay? So maybe this is something that, well, me, in my case, I would probably work with the company. But other than that, the company has been really great. With the group leader, sometimes, more often than not, the group leader has very limited time and suffers from burnout syndrome. We have to be really careful there, because it's a role that it's sometimes very underappreciated. Sometimes other faculty members or other people say, so you are going on a trip to London, right? But they don't know the amount of work and responsibility it takes to go abroad and be responsible of 10, 20 students. So that can affect the teacher. With the school, well, in my case, in some cases, there has been some lack of flexibility regarding the things that I was talking to you about. For example, to change the dates of the exams, or sometimes indifference. That has also been, in my experience, since the school has many other programs, not only the programs in many other things that the girls participate in. Sometimes I want to tell them about what they are doing, and sometimes I see that I mean, it's what you're doing in English, but there are other things, right? So that has been, in my experience, something that I have to deal with, and to find a way so that the whole school is proud of what these kids are doing. Another reality check here with the roles with students was, as I was saying, we want our students to be hungry for learning and really interested in wanting to know things. But this is what has also happened to me. Some of my students have very unrealistic ideas of what the program is, or when they are preparing or preparing for the competition, what they suggest is probably not something realistic. But I'll tell you a little bit more about this and how I have dealt with it, okay? Another thing that has not been quite good has been a sense of entitlement. Sometimes they feel like, oh, you don't need to tell me, I already know this, okay? So that can also happen. As a group leader. We're there to accompany them and just guide them. And when things like this happen, you have to be really careful so that there's no conflict between teachers and students. And one that I'm sure probably most of you or some of you have experienced is that some of the students see this as a trip with their friends. Yes, they know that there's an academic part, but for them, the most important thing, or at least in some of my cases, and some of the cases of the girls I have worked with, they just get together and they say, oh, my mom should talk to your mom so that they can let you go to the masters. So that's how they start, okay? If I had too many students and I have to make a selection, these are probably the students that I would not bring. However, since I have had enough space, well, this is my reality. I have brought kids whose main objective is just to have a cool trip with their friends in Europe. And well, at the end, it changes their perspective, but it's reality sometimes with the students' role. The next role that it's important to discuss will be the parents' role. Since they are the one who are paying, and they want, of course, to see that the money that they're investing is not only well spent, they also have sometimes some high expectations. And in our case, particularly, since we have been honored to be in finals and getting campus awards or even champions in the masters, they tell you that, oh, but of course they're going to make it into the finals, right? And that is something that we don't know, okay? It's impossible to know. So sometimes you have to deal with this, of course, telling them that, of course, you're bringing different kids every year. There are different judges. You don't know the project or the task that they're going to assign to you. So there's no way that you can guarantee a good performance. So I suggest that you be clear and tell them that it's really hard. And every year I've noticed that the competition has become fiercer. I mean, every year I see schools who bring really well-prepared students, fantastic ideas. So to make it into the finals or to pass into the next round, it's a very good accomplishment. So it's something important that you highlight to their parents. Well, now, the many flavors of success. My suggestions on what to do when you are there with the masters. A lot of people have asked me if I prepare my students before the program. I never do, okay? As I said, we invite them in September, they go in March, April, but they don't spend the afternoons preparing. It's different from BEO. In this case, there is no point in preparing in the afternoons because when they get there, they're going to be presented to the task and we have no idea what the task will be, okay? I also suggest that you don't give them extra preparation because I've heard some schools have done it. It probably works for them. But in my case, I wouldn't recommend that you give them marketing classes or accounting classes, because when they get into the masters, they're going to have those sessions. If you know masters or if you don't know masters, well, please know that there are some days in which the kids have some classes in the mornings, and in the afternoon they prepare their product or their service that they want to offer. If you bring a student who already knows what some of the topics or the ideas or the general business ideas before they get there, when they are there, they're going to be like, oh, I already know. So the idea is that they have a feeling that what they are doing there, it's new and they're learning, okay? And they get so excited when they're learning something completely new, something that it's at a level of college student who is studying management. Well, they get really excited about that because this is something that nobody in their school is learning unless you have a business English program. In our case, we don't. Another thing that is super important, it's that it's their product. Every time I go with the students and it's a very exciting session where they tell them what to do, they have all of these ideas. And as I said earlier, some of them are unrealistic and probably not something that you personally would like or would recommend to do. However, we are teachers, we're not businessmen. And we cannot impose our views on the students. It's their product. So if you want them to pitch their product with pride, with good feeling that they are really selling what they are offering, it has to be theirs. So you have to let them be the ones who choose the product or the service that they want to offer, even though it's a little bit unrealistic, and it is completely unrealistic. But even though it's a bit unrealistic, remember this is a competition where, yes, some numbers are checked, some processes need to be verified as something that can be done. But if they create something that you have never heard before, just because you think it's not possible, it doesn't mean that it cannot be possible. So let them experiment with their own ideas. In case their idea is presented well and they pitch well and they win, fantastic, it was their idea. But think for a moment, if you interfere or if you suggest something and they do what you suggested and they don't pass into the next round, whose fault is it going to be? They're going to tell you it's yours because they wanted to do something else, but the teacher suggested another thing. So be really careful. Let them be the ones who choose what to pitch. And of course, another thing that I think helps a lot is that they pitch well. And by I mean well is that the presentation should be clear. When they speak in English, they should take time and pause and use good body language so that it can be understood. What I've seen from the competitors in the sessions that I have been is that sometimes their ideas are fantastic, but when they pitch, or either they speak too fast and it's not very clear to understand what they said, or their volume is a little low, okay? So I suggest that you pitch well. And in order to do that, take those guidelines, the ones that they give you, the rubrics, and as a teacher, as a group leader role, your role is to make sure that they follow the rubrics and that they are closer to the higher points as possible. That is your role as a teacher, to ensure that the words that they are pronouncing are pronounced well. Bring a team, preferably, that has a minimum of a B2 level. Of course, is one of the requirements of the masters, but if you have a student whose level of English is not so good and you can bring it, this person will also learn a lot, okay? And perhaps that person will not be the one who pitches, maybe, okay? But if she wants to do it, make sure that you correct all the grammar errors or the pronunciation errors that you notice. Yes, when I'm speaking about she because I have only girls. When she speaks, she's going to be confident that with the suggestions that you made into her pronunciation or her grammar are the ones that are correct. So she will be able to have the confidence to speak maybe more loudly, to use more body language, speak with her hands or with her facial expression, and be able to convey the message clearly, okay? Because that's really important. If the speakers have a very low tone of voice or it's not clear, even though the idea is fantastic, they may not make it to the next round. And last but not least, make sure that they put in practice what they have learned. During the sessions in the mornings, they learn about web page design and colors, and they also learn about customer, how to analyze your customers. Make sure that in the presentation, they put in practice and it's evident that they learned it there, okay? Because, well, that's why I'm telling you, do not prepare them before time, because they are so excited about all these new concepts for them that when they show it, they get excited when they mention it, okay? So I believe that works really well to make sure that whatever they learned in the masters, in the sessions, it's there in the presentations. So I believe that that can help a lot. And this, by doing this, if you see it, well, you will be able to taste the whole experience, the before, before they knew anything, okay? Before you had seen them evolve, You can taste it during, when you see them learn new things and they get excited and they can even stop talking about what they want to offer. And of course, the after. It does not depend on your performance. Of course, not everything, okay? A lot of it depends on you, but sometimes it depends on the judges, or I mean, maybe if they don't make it into the next round, it is a setback. Yes, it can be disappointing. However, the learning that they take from this is already what we consider a winning, a big win, okay? So it's important that as a group leader, you let them know that they are winners just because they took the opportunity to be there and they took up the challenge, okay? Of course, to savor success, it's fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, it's great because someone is recognizing all the effort, okay? But even if it's not the case, make sure that you let them taste the whole experience. It's not just a few moments, it's everything, okay? The learning that they have acquired from the process is what they will take on in life. And maybe in this case, it did not work, but now they have the tools to pitch in another situation where it comes up to them, maybe in their own school, but maybe as professionals, they will be able to use the tools that they have learned in the masters. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you. I hope it helps you if you find it useful. And I don't know if you have any questions or any comments. I will be more than happy to answer.
Here's one. How can we train them at home apart from language aspect, not on business or similar?
Fantastic question, Irene. Let me tell you something that has worked for me, okay? Not in the business aspect, but with English, okay? Take a product, any product, and ask them to pitch, okay? 5 minutes, 2 minutes, okay? Whether it's a brush, their shampoo they normally wear, okay? Ask them to pitch that product, and when they speak, correct any structures that you find, disturbing, okay? Let them flow. Remember that as teachers, sometimes we have to focus more on fluency rather than accuracy. But if you want them to improve in language, you do have to focus on certain aspects of accuracy. So I would do little things like that. Small pitches where they have to speak about a product they know well in their own terms. They don't need to do all the marketing strategies because they don't know that yet, but something that they believe in, something that they use or that they like a lot. And yeah, we'll either videotape them and show them their mistakes, or just correct them as you listen to them. And then, of course, if you notice huge or big mistakes in grammar, it's the perfect opportunity to tell them to revise certain aspects of grammar.
There's like public speaking techniques also.
Okay, of course. We don't train our students with public speaking techniques specifically, but most definitely, I would strongly advise that, because in our school, they make a lot of presentations. That's what I'm telling you, that we don't train them per se. However, anything that is public speaking will help, okay? There are certain phrases, and I love to extract these phrases from Cambridge books for the speaking skills exercises. Well, they say, on the other hand, nevertheless, however, and also the writing sections. All of these phrases are perfect and fantastic when they speak. So I strongly suggest that you just take all these phrases and ask them to maybe have a debate. I see there's another question. Have a debate and ensure that these phrases are used, and give extra bonus points if they use them, so that they become more confident using them. And they would probably have their favorite ones, maybe, or the ones that you listen to the most try to give extra points if they're using the least or the less usual phrases, but they are still good. So I would recommend, if you have time to prepare, because the masters, if you have the opportunity to have them in the afternoon and do these activities, that will be fantastic. But in our case, we don't have time to do that.
Here's another one. Do you recommend team up activities as part of their preparation?
Yes, definitely. If you have the opportunity, as I said earlier, some of the girls that go into the masters in our program, they go because they want to go with their friends. So what they do, oh, my phone, give me just 1 second. Let me just get that, not get that. They've been bugging me a lot lately, sorry. So what they do is they call their mothers so that they can convince them to go to masters and go as friends. So they already have a very good sense of a team because they know each other well. So if that is not the case, Yvonne, if you don't have a team or a group that knows each other really well, most definitely. But in this case, probably, I'm thinking that it could be a good idea to have activities that they can, that build some team spirit and maybe do some analysis of their strengths and weaknesses as well, okay? So that you know what each person can bring into the competition. And in our case, whenever I ask them, okay, girls, well, so who's gonna make the presentation? They already know, because they know Beatriz is the one who is perfect with PowerPoint, and they already know who's good at numbers because they know each other well, okay? But if you can have certain activities that can help you assess well their weaknesses and their strengths and work with them so that they can try to do everything, okay? I mean, maybe not everyone is going to be the best at the computer, okay? However, it's important that everyone does a little bit of everything.
Anyone has another question?
No? Well, I hope this helped. As I said, there's no formula to success. They asked for my testimony, and this is it. I hope that when you bring your students, you see that the learning that they will extract from this, it's very valuable, even though they are not, they do not pass into the next round. I think the Masters is a tough competition, very tough.
There's another question. In addition to PowerPoint, is there any other software or application that you recommend they learn to use?
Yes, yes. What I've been quite surprised by this. Of course, at the earlier masters, they just allowed us to use PowerPoint, and then afterwards they were more flexible on what we could use. Prezi is a very common presentation tool that helps a lot, but another one that my students and have shown me is Canva, okay? What they could do with Canva, they can see, I mean, it's an application that, well, not application, it's a platform that helps them design. Of course, when they are in the masters, they will tell them all the importance of color, okay? And they will be able to see what they could do with color and the impact it will have on the customer. But that's not your role. However, if you can take a look at what Canva does and they have never heard of it, it would be nice that you guide them and tell them to use it for design, okay? And for presentation or PowerPoint presentation, well, Prezi is a popular one.
Anyone else?
Yes,
yes,
Canva.
yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Jonathan Gray, teacher from Panama, the Republic of Panama here in Central America. Nice to see you all. I got a very short and brief question. In my specific case, the opportunity of traveling to or taking into consideration BEO was like a challenge from my principal. She told me once, because I always have these ideas and stuff, and she told me once, why don't you have something like an international experience for the kids? And I found the information. I even scheduled the appointment with the representative in the country. And when I went to the meeting with her, I told her everything, and she accepted. But nothing has passed after acceptance. I mean, we went to the competition, we participated, the kids won several awards, and even we went to Lima, Peru, which was 2019, after program. But I mean, she knows that this is going on, but she doesn't like support much. Like I'm a regular school teacher. I have to do lots of things, and then I'll have to do this. And now you just the amount of things that you just mentioned just blew my mind, because I'm gonna be like, I need 2 clones in order to achieve. And she wants more kids now. She told me next time I want 20 kids, and I said, okay. Oh my God. How do I convince or try to convince administration in a high level? I'm talking about principal, vice principal, and the owners of the school, in order to support the program in the view of what is profitable for the school. Because I think if I sell it like just apply what the kids do in the masters, sell the idea, I think I'm cutting short on that. So what would you recommend on that?
Well, you have the same problem I also have. Because
Okay.
the school promotes the masters. I mean, we have done it since 2014, the masters since 2014.
Okay.
However, in our case, it's because the school is like, well, it's a good program. That's really good that the girls are going. But for some reason, they don't see the marketing advantage of having incorporated these programs. Suggestions. Of course, it's not just you telling the principal, oh, this is a good program because this has all these academic advantages. The best, in my opinion, the best way to promote this is that the kids and their parents talk to your principal and talk to your owners about the experience that they have. And this is the case. This happens normally right after they arrive. After a week, they lose it. It has to be right after they arrive, because they are so excited. They even want to tell the principal that what they learned there, it's more than what they have learned all high school. So to me, that's a very valuable thing. If I am the parent of a kid who says that in 2 weeks, she learned more than what she had learned at school, that's something good, okay? So this is something that the school needs to know. Of course, it's extra work, and they rely on you as a teacher to do that extra work, because and in my case, I have done it. I have promoted the program. I have done all the administrative issues. I have prepared with the help of my teachers. Okay, the teachers also helped me, all right? But the thing is that in the end, you are delivering. So it's important that they also know that in many schools, these programs, and this is what I tell my principal, in other schools, they have a special department for international experiences. Okay, they do. Okay, one thing is to prepare students academically to learn English, and another thing is to have an international experience that has not only English, but also includes what they know in the other subjects. Because the kids who perform at the masters are incorporating what they know from tech class, what they know from physics, what they know from many other subjects. That's why it's important that you also tell the other faculty. The other problem with that is that sometimes the other members of the faculty are a little bit jealous, and they say, you're going to England. You're enjoying 2 weeks in London. No. I have invited teachers to come with me from other subjects. Don't bring just the English teachers with you. Bring teachers from other subjects if it is possible for you, so that they can see that. And when they return, it's another teacher, not just you, because we don't get anything extra from taking extra students, but they don't pay us extra money for that. So if it's possible, bring another teacher and from another, I mean, not necessarily English, so that that person can also be give testimony of the things that these kids do at the masters. I hope I answered your question.
Well, if there are no more questions, thank you very much, Gabby. I see in the chat that they appreciate too much the information you gave about the international career and all the tips. And thank you so much, all of you, for being here. I kindly remind you that tomorrow is our last day of conference, so we hope you keep enjoying the summit, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.